Hi everyone, welcome to my next video. I'm going to show you how to make homemade chicken stock. So I'm going to start with got my chicken that I roasted from yesterday with still some meat on the bone, so that'll be good for cooking in this. Some celery, rosemary, zucchini. I'm going to use a yellow pepper and some fresh parsley as well as some onions. Usually you can put whatever vegetables you want. Usually they ask for the recipe calls for leeks and carrots. I don't have any of those. We're in lockdown and I don't have the ability to go shopping today. So I can use whatever other vegetables I want. So I'm going to use my zucchini, my celery, my pepper, and some onions. And that'll be what I'm going to add to my stock. So first step is to put the chicken in the pot. Over here with the chicken, and then I got my big quart pot, so I'm going to put the chicken in there just like that, and then I'm going to add the vegetables. Okay, so I'm going to start with the celery, so just going to wash it really quickly. Just going to wash each stalk pretty quickly. The celery collects a lot of dirt, so you don't want that in your stock. Rub it really good, get the dirt off. Okay, and it doesn't matter if you cut off the floury ends or not. I'm gonna cut them off anyway, but you can leave them on because it'll just add more flavor to your stock. But I am gonna cut off some of the bad pieces of the celery because there are some pretty bad pieces at the ends. Okay, so I'm just going to cut it up into big chunks. Basically, I mean, you can eat the vegetables afterwards if you want. You can, after the stock is made and you drain it, you can eat the vegetables. I have done that before. They're perfectly fine. They don't taste as good as they would because they've been cooking for 6 hours, so they're pretty stale tasting, but you can eat them. So there's the celery, so I'm just going to add that to my pot. Add the pepper. Again, I like to cut the pepper lengthwise. It saves so much time dealing with the seeds. Everything just stays in one spot. And again, I'm just going to cut it up into big chunks. No need to cut it up into certain size pieces. Get rid of some of the seeds that are left. I'm going to add that to the pot as well. And then you just continue with the other vegetables you have. If you have carrots, do the same thing. You peel them, you cut them into chunks, add those. I'm going to add my zucchini and my parsley. Now for the onions, I can just add half the onions. I use pretty big onions, so I'm just going to cut them in half, peel them, and then just throw the half, just throw it in like that. It's perfectly fine. So I'm using about 3 onions in this. That will make it a lot more flavorful. Just a little bit of salt. A little bit of pepper, flavor. And then just fill the pot with water up to the top level of the chicken and the vegetables. So let me clear this out of the way. Make it easier, instead of bringing the pot to the sink, I'm just going to fill up a jug of water and fill that up. Okay, so here's the last of the water. So the pot is full. I'm going to turn it on to about 8 or 9 to start it to get boiling. And then once it's boiling, I'll turn the heat down and let it simmer for 4 hours, and then check on it and let it simmer for a few more hours until it's done. So that's the start of our stock, and then we will check in 4 hours to see how it's doing. Okay, so the pot has started boiling, so I've turned it down to almost low, and now we'll let it simmer for about 4 hours and get the flavors set up. So during the time that it's sitting simmering for about 4 hours, just keep constantly stirring it once in a while. Well, not constantly, but once in a while, stir it just to make everything mix up well to spread the flavor. So I'll check on that again in another couple of hours and see how it's doing. Okay, so it's been about 4 hours now. This has been simmering away, and the apartment smells really good. It's not quite ready yet. I'm going to give it another couple of hours of simmering, and then I'm going to check to see if it's going to be done. So it's looking really good, but I don't think it's quite done yet. Okay, it is all ready. I'm going to turn off the stove. Give it another stir. It's all ready to go. It smells just so delicious. The chicken has come off the bones, which is good. So now I'm ready to strain it and put it in containers. Okay, so I've got my big metal bowl in my sink. Oh, just give it another wipe. I've got my big metal bowl in the sink, which should be big enough to hold all the liquid. And I've got my big strainer. So let's see about straining this. Oh. Everything just comes out. And then slip the strainer out of the big bowl. Get the big bowl tipping over. And then here in the bowl, I have all of the liquid. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to freeze some of that, and then I'll keep the rest of it to use in some of my dishes. Then I have the rest of these vegetables. I can take the chicken off the bones, and I can either eat the vegetables or just throw them out, whatever you want to do with it. Some people like to take the vegetables out. You can grind them up and make another vegetable stock, or you can't make vegetable stock with it for a vegetarian, but you can make vegetable stock knowing that it has been made into chicken stock. You just take some of the vegetables. You just take some of the vegetables and eat them too. It's hot, but it tastes good. So here's the stock. Just turn the light on so you can see better. So here's the stock. Now there's still bits of rosemary and some garlic and stuff in there. You can strain it further if you want, if you have another strainer. That's perfectly fine. I like to leave the little bits in there because when I cook with it, then it gives a little bit more flavor with what I'm cooking. So what I'm gonna do is I got this good tip of taking some and freezing it into an ice cube tray, putting them in ice cube trays and freezing it. That way you have pre-measured little bits of frozen chicken stock whenever you need it. So I'm gonna do that. And then the rest of it, I'm just gonna put in a container in the fridge. So in order to do that, I'm just gonna put some in a pitcher so that it's easier to pour into the ice cube tray. So we'll try that. And then you just pour it into the ice cube tray. There. So, left over. So I'm gonna freeze this, and then next time I'm cooking, I can use these pre-measured cubes of chicken stock. The rest I'm gonna put in a container, put it in the fridge, and use that for my cooking for the next few days. Okay, that's my video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you're able to make your own chicken stock. Thank you.